What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today we are going to jump back over to Marvel Comics, and we are going to begin our coverage over the Empyre event. Now, Empyre was this big event that came out back in 2020 as a way to help out comic books because, of course, we had COVID back in 2020, and that did play a big role in sales for comic books. And so Marvel was hoping that Empyre would save the sales of comics. But here comes the big problem with Empyre. To fully understand Empyre, you must have read some content back from the 1970s, the 1980s, and even the early 2000s. So for example, you must have read the Kree-Skrull War, you must have read Young Avengers, and there were some other books as well to fully understand what in the world is going on in this event right here. Now, luckily, Marvel did the right thing here. They did release a one-shot, and this one-shot was called The Road to Empyre. And what this one-shot did, it took all the information you must know and put it all together in one single book so that you did not have to go out there and spend your money left and right to find these different books to just fully understand what in the world is going on. You can just read this one single issue and honestly get a better idea how we got to this event right here in Marvel Comics. And so today we're going to cover the road to Empyre as a way to get us ready for the rest of the event, because a lot of things are going to happen in this event down the road. So I do hope you enjoy today's comic book video. To begin today's video, we actually pick up with the Warner family. Now, the Warner family actually first appeared back in a miniseries known as Meet the Skrulls. They are using their powers to hide their appearance as a way to be undercover for the alien race known as the Skrulls. The Skrulls were trying to invade the Earth again like they did back in Secret Invasion. So this family has been here for a while to actually gather any kind of information about the human race that would help the Skrulls take over the planet. Now, in that miniseries, the father of the family was killed because he discovered there was something called Project Blossom that was going around killing Skrulls who were pretending to be humans on the planet Earth. Those same people had supposedly killed one of his daughters, but in reality she was alive and well. But when he tried to save her, he died. The rest of the family was able to save her, but they came to find out that one of their own, a fellow Skrull, had betrayed them and has been working with Project Blossom to kill Skrulls across the Earth. So this family's new mission is to shut down Project Blossom and stop the ones who made it. Now we pick up with the rest of the Warner family, the mom and her 3 daughters, as they find something very special. Now it may look just like a regular leaf, but this is a sample from something. That something was one of the many things that began the Kree-Skrull War, which means now we're about to get a small history lesson about what made the two races fight against each other in the first place, because both the Kree and the Skrulls have been around for ages, and this is important for the event. So starting off from the beginning, before the war, we pick up with the Skrulls, who were a race trying to expand their empire in a peaceful way. They did not go around forcing people into their empire. Instead, it was a race who offered to trade their technology to help planets grow. If those planets accept their offer, they would have to join the Empire, but to also give something else back in the trade. It worked for them for many years, but that all changed when they reached the home world for the Kree, which is Hala. Now, Hala wasn't just home to the Kree. There was a second race, a plant-like race known as the Katati. Now, the Skrulls only could pick one race that could live on Hala and join the Empire. So we saw the Skrulls take each race and put them on a different moon as a way to test them, give them the Skrulls tech, come back in a couple years to see what each race has done with the tech, what kind of life they made on the moon with the Skrulls tech. The Kree did an amazing job, but the Katahdin did better, which of course made the Kree mad, because the Skrulls were going to choose the Katahdin, so it led to the Kree killing, almost wiping out the Katahdin race completely. Then using the tech from the Skrulls on the Skrulls, the Kree built themselves up and began a war with the Kree. The war went on for years and crossed multiple galaxies until it had finally reached Earth. Getting back to the Warner family, we see that they believe this sample could be from a Katahdin and could mean that the Kree wants to make sure that they have killed every single one of the Katahdin. That is when you have the daughter bring up the Celestial Messiah, which is something else from the early 1970 comics that is needed to understand this event. See, the Celestial Messiah is the child of a perfect human being, the Celestial Madonna, and a Katahdin. Even though the Kree had thought they killed all of the Katahdin, some actually survived, and a small group of Kree who weren't as violent as their other members began to plant different Katahdins across the universe. Of course, Earth is one of the many planets chosen. Now, there was a character who was known as Swordsman who was an Avenger who had died, but his body was buried next to a Katahdin, and they had fused into one. And so the Swordsman was reborn as a Katahdin. Now, the Celestial Madonna was actually Mantis, who was the lover of Swordsman. And so when he was reborn, you now had your perfect human and your perfect Katahdin. Mantis being the Celestial Madonna, with them having a baby, it made the Celestial Messiah, and his name was Sequoia. I really hope I pronounced that name correctly. His purpose in life was supposed to go around and fix the universe. Sequoia has been doing that mainly in an area that Thanos had completely wrecked in the past, but it has been a long time since anyone has seen him though. But back in the present day, we pick up with the Warner family once again, and we see them right now hanging out in a hotel, plotting their next move. But that is the moment we see that someone blows up their hotel room. Of course, we know it is the people from Project Blossom, but we see that another Skrull or Kree is the one who pulled the trigger in the first place. Now, the Warner family is not dead. They have survived thanks to one of the sisters transforming into some kind of monster to eat her family. Once everything is cleared, she spits them back out. But then the story dives into another character who is going to be important for this event, which is Hulkling. Hulkling actually first appeared in the Young Avengers storyline. He is the child of the original Captain Marvel, and the princess of the Skrulls. So Hulkling is the first Kree-Skrull being. Now, for a long period of time, Hulkling had no idea about him being a Kree-Skrull being. Now, the reason why he's being brought up now is because of a message the Warner family had found. Well, Hulkling was on the message and making it seem like he has chosen the side of his father, the Kree, and he's working with Project Blossom. Now, we see that the Warner family was able to locate the person who was trying to kill them, but before they go in on killing this person, well, that is the moment you actually have them talking about a time when there was peace between the two sides, the Kree and the Skrulls. Because the war was going on for a long time, the Watcher stepped in and made the two sides pick their best warriors. Whoever won the fight, they would win the war basically, except it was a trick done by the Watcher and the heroes of Earth as a way to show the forces that they could work well together, which worked, and the two sides began to work together. But of course, that peace did not last as long like everyone was hoping for. But once again, back in the present day, we see that the Warner family was able to find the people who have been following them around, the ones who could have a hand in Project Blossom. Except when they burst into the room to kill these people, well, of course, it is another family, a family of Kree. But this is the big moment, because you have this person play a message, and Hulkling is on this message, where he says there is going to be an attack of sorts, but this attack is coming from a new alliance, the Kree and the Skrull alliance. They have peace once again, and they are about to attack the Earth very soon. And this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please hit the like button down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoy today's comic book video. Later, guys.